Alright, so I talked about this before on stream, but I wanted to get the whole community in on it, and that is the FGO Drip Olympics. Who has the best sauce, the best drip, the best designs in FGO? And in case you were wondering, I do have a PhD in sauceology. They call me Sir Saucington IV. So this is gonna be like the pre-qualifiers, just the first people that come to mind when you think of best design. We're gonna hit the ground running. I'm gonna give some of mine, and then I'm gonna go through the thread and tell you which ones I agree with. And if you wanna throw some other Type Moon characters in there, you can do that as well. I'm gonna kick things off with Angra Mainyu. So what are we looking for specifically? What makes a good design? For me, I'm looking for something abstract, something that's irregular in terms of style, unique color palettes, something that's lore heavy, lore centric, and even the art style matters too, because I've seen servants that look good in theory just for the art style to come in and ruin it because it doesn't match the tone of the servant. For Angra in particular, one of the huge things about his fate backstory is that he was held down by the village and they would sit there and mark their sins upon his body. And you can see that this has risen with him as a servant, and it came out really nice. The bandana is a nice touch. The color choice is perfect, especially when you consider his skin tone. The wraps around his arms and his legs are tough. Most people might have gloves or shoes and boots. It just stands out from the rest. And just the overall roughness of the cloth that's around his waist. It looks very tribal. The whole thing looks tribal, which again is very fitting because he's supposed to be from a village. And it's not just about one ascension either. There's plenty of characters that have one ascension that might not look so good, and then you go to another one and it's like a completely different person. I know as of the past few chapters, they've been releasing characters that look different in nearly every ascension. For Angra, in his first ascension, to this day, he is still the only servant that's completely drowned in darkness. For the last one, there wasn't really too much that changed outside the color, but I do like the cerulean neon that comes in his third ascension as well. Going over to the thread, the top choice that reigns supreme over everybody is none other than King Hassan. Of course, I agree wholeheartedly. King Hassan is definitely one of the easier choices when it comes to best dress. For as long as I can remember, people have always said that he looks like he barely even belongs in the game. He looks more like something that you would see in an RPG or in a Dark Souls, like a boss. I like to gravitate to his second ascension. Really like the shoulder guards. You can even see the skulls on the side from his stance. I like his shin guards and the way his armor spikes up towards him. Same thing up top. You have the skull face, which is complementary to every Hassan, but his looks a little bit different because it's tinted and it matches more into the outfit. Plus he has the horns to go with it, so it just looks more natural. It doesn't even look like a mask. I've seen people that said I thought that was his face, even down to the minute details like his size. You know, this dude is 7'2". If fate doesn't work out, he's going to the NBA, and it's impressive because it kind of embodies his leadership as the first old man of the mountain and how he towers over everybody else. Then you got the blue flame coming out of his chest. No difficulty. His third ascension looks good too. Here's another. Muramasa, Tomoe, and Musashi's designs are my favorite due to clear reasons, but the one I want to talk about the most is Rider Da Vinci. Muramasa for sure without a doubt is up there. I'm glad this is already here because I didn't want to sound like a broken record. Back to when I was talking about things that are irregular, you know, usually you have something that covers both shoulders. I specifically like the fact that he has just one arm strap. It just looks more unique that way. If you look into the background, you can see the floral design on the inside of his cloak. That's really cool. A nice attention to detail. You can see that his belt matches the cloak. His arm guard matches his hair. Everything just flows seamlessly together. Then you got the band around his wrist to top it off. I will say that his legs look a little weird in this picture. It normally doesn't look like this. Even if you're looking at his sprite, it just looks a lot less strange than the picture given, and that's what I mean. His second design looks good too. This is one of those things where I was talking about it looks very different from the other ones. The pants this time around actually look more fitting. I like the rope belt, and then I like the design on the upper upper half of his top as well. Don't really care about his third ascension at all, other than the fact that he looks more like Emiya before he went through his full transition. I don't really like the fit itself. Tomoe, love Tomoe by the way. I don't know if I would put Tomoe at the top, but I will say that I like her fits, specifically 2 and 3, especially if you look at her last stage for 3. It just looks so good. It's a lot of things going on, but I like how she has this gradient on her armor going slightly from green into orange. Like some of it's going this way, some of it's going that way, but it doesn't really break the image. She has the red horns, which naturally matches her eyes, so that's very fitting, and it matches her gauntlets too. Musashi, my girl Musashi. This is yet another one that I was going to pick anyway, so this is right on time. Musashi is definitely at the top. You can say I'm biased, that's fine, still doesn't change. Specifically a highlight on 3 is the one that I'm looking at. What really stands out for me is this color palette. This is a color palette that you don't see too often, and if you do see it, it's most likely that it's not gonna look good. The artist was able to put this together and not only make it look good, but it matches the pink tint that she has going for her hair. Love the flames that they have covering each one of her swords. And then we have Da Vinci, my beloved. I know he talked about lowly Vinci, but I'm just gonna talk about Da Vinci in general. Like I said before, I do like the take of using one of Da Vinci's works, which is the Mona Lisa, and actually bringing his image to life. For both characters, especially in the original, there is just a lot of attention to design, which is a crazy thing to think about, because Da Vinci, if you remember, Da Vinci is one of the first servants that was summoned in Grand Order, and to this day, after all the servants that came after her, you can still make an argument of her being up top. The mechanical arm, even that has a lot of detail in it. The colors look good, she looks good. It's just a hard design. Here's one too. Gilgamesh has to be one of the best designs. This dude, who has an ego the size of a moon, walks around in literal gold armor. His powers and his aesthetic is also cool, with Aya being one of the coolest fantasy weapons ever. Gilgamesh, putting on for the original cast, he has to be up there. Everything about his design, it just grabs your attention. You know, from the shininess of the armor, like he mentioned before, it's gold. Nobody really rocks gold like that. It's super bulgy. Armor usually doesn't come that bulgy. Like when you see how bulky it is, it kind of makes you look like, why is his armor that big? He has the deep red eyes that kind of sets it off away from everything else. This also matches Aya, and Aya is also gold, which matches the fit. So it just all comes full circle. You got the lines and the symbols in his armor. It just looks really nice. I'm super impartial to his third fit, which is where he takes the chest off, and it kind of gives you a little bit of everything. He takes the hair down, he's got the tattoos, he's got the necklace, and it's everything from the one he had before, but a little bit more. From the time that I summoned Gil, I put this on and I haven't taken it off. It's just that good. I'm gonna throw one in the ring, and that's Quetz. You heard me right. Not only is she one of the strongest, but she's one of the people that look the best while doing it too. The tough thing about her is that this shouldn't work by any means. Look at her palette. She has every color in the rainbow in her character, and yet it somehow still flows together. The attention to detail, her headdress, her jewelry, her shield, the feathers on her clothes, even down to the gem on her face, which flawlessly matches with her eyes, by the way. Truth be told, people aren't giving Quetz enough credit. Put some respect on the Lucha. Here's another one for me. Alcides. This one should pretty much be a given. You have the lion pelt that covers his face, which immediately sets him apart from everybody in the cast. The design on the pelt, which even goes as far as matching with the bow. And then you have his upper body, the white markings in the middle of his chest, the chains, and again, very similar to Angra, he has the bottom cloth that matches the pelt too. He's out here rocking the Air Bethlehems for the kicks. The drip is insane. Okay, here's another one from me. Solomon. Pay homage to the king. Can we admit to the fact that his design is flawless? The tattoos, the black, white, and red scheme, the rope that hangs down the middle that matches the upper side. Jewelry game is fresh. The unique braid that he has, which again just matches the rest of the things that he has on. The ridiculously long hair, almost as if to confirm his might. This is one of one. Let me get another one. Geronimo. I know a lot of people don't want to admit it, but Geronimo is putting these boys to shame. Are you serious? Look at this man. From the face paint matching his actual clothes, the feathered headdress with the horns, and he's putting this on in layers. This is probably one of the most unique colorways that there is, and somehow it's still coming together smooth. And that's just to name a few. That's my main 5. Of course, I can't get them all. We'll be here all day. Angra, Quetz, Ozymandias, Solomon, and Geronimo. Tell me that lineup is not tough. And there's still plenty more that I wanted to throw in there. You know, you got Ishtar, Space Ishtar, Ereshkigal. There was a point where I was obsessed with Ereshkigal's design. Edmond Dantes, Castoria, God Juna, Morgan, Brynhilder, Joan and Jalter, Kazgil, Miyu vs Shiro. We're not even gonna get into summer. We're gonna save that for later.